things I have to tell you though, before I start anything is I have fear of talking in public.
Doing great.
Thank you. I'm going to tell you a story about that. Androcles, the real story of Androcles and the lion. The story is that Androcles was a Christian monk who was sentenced to death by lion. And he was in the arena, in the Colosseum arena. The lion came in. He went over by the lion and he whispered something in his ear. And the lion turned around, went to the other side and sat down. The second day, this happened again. On the third day, on the second day, the emperor said, starve that lion, make sure he's starving tomorrow. On the third day, Androcles goes by the lion, whispers something, and the lion goes back and sits down. And the emperor says, I will spare your life if you tell me what do you say to the lion. He says, after you eat me, you have to make a speech.
Oh, the worst thing.
And now you know I'm not a comedian either. Sculptor, stone carver, and machine shop owner. I started my art when I was 8 years old school. My grandfather said, you're ready. He was a stone carver, so I went to work with him, for him. And, well, families are tough. They teach you more than the regular. So he taught me a little bit about sculpting, stone carving, but a lot of the work was get lunch, sweep the floor.
Yes.
Then I came to America, and I didn't know there were any stone carvers being done until 1984. There was a documentary that won an Oscar called The Stone Carvers of Washington, D.C., which I had no idea they existed. The very next day, at the time I was operating a machine shop quite well, doing well. And I told my wife, honey, I gotta do this. It's like she understood. And I said to her, I'm gonna go down there 3 weeks, learn everything about it, and then come back to the machine shop the next day. And I spoke to the foreman. His name was Vincent Palumbo. And he said to me, who's your father? Vincent. Who's your grandfather? Michele. Michele Minervini. I worked with him.
Wow. What are the chances?
I didn't know what to say.
Wow.
I got the job, by the way. But what I did, because I had to take care of my family,
Right.
I went there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I worked in my machine shop. I had to. I couldn't do it any other way.
Right.
Yeah.
And every week coming back from Washington, D.C., the traffic on the Beltway, the traffic in Baltimore, traffic in Philadelphia, and then the Jersey natural traffic. Every time I got back Friday night, I said, I can't do this anymore. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is crazy. By Tuesday, I couldn't wait to go back. 2.5 years later, I was still there. I finally, they finished the cathedral, and I went home. I went back home to work on my machine shop. But one commission after another, and I guess I got to be known in Monmouth County, New Jersey. And another story about the cathedral. I think I told you about the story. No, it's about one of the carvers was told to make a gargoyle facing the bishop's window. This is true. You're not going to see this. There are no pictures of it. And the stone carver did. He carved it every day. Then he covered it. Carved it and covered it. Nobody knew what he was going to do. At the end, it was a stone carver with chisels in his pocket, with his pants down, showing his butt. Oh, I know. Luckily, the bishop had a good sense of humor. You're not going to hear that anywhere else. But there's an additional to that story is there was another stone, about 20 feet away, and the bishop designed it. What it was is an angel looking at the butt and going like, in Paris, people have a connection to the cathedral. You love the cathedral. You love the work. You love the people. And it was a beautiful thing. I have pictures going around. Please look at them and pass them around. These are some of the work that I have done. When I moved, I put everything in boxes, and now I can't find anything. But I found these. What else can I say? Commissions came after. The more I did, the more people realized. And I have a lot of work done in Monmouth County mainly. There is one sculpture to memorialize 9/11. And it's a big eagle. Beautiful. It's a beautiful eagle.
Is it in the pictures?
Yes, it's in the pictures. It's 11 feet wide, 9 feet from beak to tail. And what it is, it's clutching the actual beam from the World Trade Center. And looking at this thing, it's so mangled and twisted. It's like, it was incredibly sad. There was a call for artists. There were 48 entries. They picked 10. Then they picked 3. And to my surprise, they picked me. But it took me 2 years to do it. But it was a passionate work. The biggest, the most important part of the eagle is the beam. That's the monument. But I also wanted to, how do I bring it up to heaven? And I did by clutching the beam and flying up to heaven. But the most important part was the face. The face had to convey the real feeling, all the feelings of 9/11. It can't be too pretty, it can't be too angry. Once you look at that face, it's like every emotion. I did one piece, it was too angry. If you look at the eagle, it looks too angry. I did a second piece, no, not angry enough. Third piece, I did 9 models. Maybe I'm not good at this, but I did 9 models. At the 9th model, I finally said, that's it. This is it. And if you look at the picture of the eagle, look at the face. That's the real monument. And it was, I spoke to the survivors, the family of the survivors, very important. The range of these people is like pain. Oh, I mean, they were so young. And it's the most that they said, we don't want anything too pretty. We don't want anything happy. We don't want anything this, that. It's like, oh my God, to listen to them. And I did hear them. I did listen to them. That's why I was able to do 9 of them. I couldn't pass by it. But the ninth one was the one that was the most important. That's the one I went with. And it was a pleasure to carve it.
When did you complete that?
2005. It took me 2 years to do the whole thing. I went to Indianapolis, I went to Indiana, I got the blocks. I went to Newcastle, Pennsylvania, the mill to cut some of it, and the rest I did it in my at my shop in Freehold, New Jersey. Any questions? Anytime.
Where is it?
It's on Mount Mitchell in Atlantic Highland, which is the highest point on the East Coast. It's a beautiful spot.
Nice.
It's over 300 feet above sea level.
In New Jersey, I guess.
Yeah, it's in New Jersey, and it's overlooking New York City, because when the towers fell, you could go. People went up there to see, and it's it's something that you never forget. It's like Pearl Harbor or the death of John Kennedy, and what was amazing that the day after, everyone flew the flag.
Yeah.
Everyone, whoever didn't bought one, and I was so it's touching to see so many flags flying. And that felt me the most is that the survivors, the families of those that perished, liked it.
Nice tribute to you.
Yes. And every year that I went back, they have a ceremony every year. And every time I go there, it's like I get the same congratulation from the same people.
And you feel the same emotion.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's limestone, Indiana limestone, American stone.
Yeah.
It's only perfect. It's only any other questions?
Yeah, I want to know about these pictures. So this one's quite 1492 to 1992.
Oh, that was my first major sculpture in 1992.
Yeah.
I was commissioned by an Italian American group to make a monument to the 500th
The three
anniversary.
the ships, the Pinto, the
The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria.
There we go.
I mainly wanted to make a monument to the voyage
Yes.
rather than the man.
right.
And we have all heard that, well, he wasn't the first one. What I wrote there is, once he returned, no one forgot America was there.
Right.
That's good.
That was the answer. That's the only thing I wanted to say. That's an owl for Temple University.
Wow.
Yes. What it doesn't show is that the owl is clutching a book, an open book, which means perfect knowledge.
Yeah. Get how you do it. What's the process?
The first thing I do is I go to the library and get books and books and books. And then, while you mow the lawn, you think about it. While you sleep, you think about it. When you wake up, you think about it. You just think about it. And you just make decision. And you take one away every time. You take away a decision and stay with some. And the bottom line is you basically do what you feel is right. You do the right thing.
But do you draw it out?
Oh, I draw it out.
Yeah, okay.
Then I use clay. And the difference between a sculptor and a stone carver is the sculptor puts on the clay, creates an art, something. The stone carver gets a block of stone and chips away the opposite. And the problem with the stone carver is once you chip it away, so you have to be very careful. You have sculptors, thousands of sculptors, are very few stone carvers.
Do you put any kind of preservative or finish or anything on the final product to protect it from the UV rays or whatever?
I have been asked that to put a protective. There is some solution that you spray on it, and it takes you have to save it from the pollen from the tree and the rain, moisture. So it does. It helps. But after 6 months, a year, you have to do it again. And sometimes you have to power wash.
Do you want to talk about the Homer Center for the Arts, the competition that you entered?
Oh yeah, well I enter competitions every year at Homer Center. Last year I made a sculpture dedicated grief, and they didn't like it as much as I did. I loved it. Grief, meaning the pass away of my wife.
Yeah.
And I felt it. I got an apprentice to come to my shop, and he is my grandson. And I was very happy that he came. He did he did 3 pieces so far.
Oh.
I also, this summer, I'm introducing him to marble, just so he knows the difference between carving marble and carving limestone. He already likes limestone better.
Marble's very difficult.
It's hard, but it's beautiful details. If you want something detailed, that's Michelangelo's stone.
Churches.
Yeah.
Do you get commissioned by people to do these things?
Yes. Like I said, in Monmouth County, once I started, it's like all of a sudden, I've never advertised. They just know me from my past work and know that I finish on time, which is very important. And the cost is high because that eagle took me 2 years.
Yeah.
And I hired people to work for me, which is very difficult because
They can screw it
they
up.
all quit.
Oh.
I don't know why, but the thing is, they have to work the way I want them to work.
That's why.
It's art. It's my work.
Right.
My work is on there, so do it the way I ask you. Or quit.
So,
And then the only one that didn't quit was my daughter. She couldn't quit. She helped me a lot, especially the last 3 weeks, which I admire for this. She works as a teacher up in North Jersey. And after school, she drove down to Monmouth County, which is about an hour and a half, and worked for 3-4 hours. And then the next day, she did this for 3 weeks. And I can never thank her enough. She did some good work. She did exactly what I told her. Thank God. If she quit, I'd be in trouble. And I am up here because my other daughter, my wife passed away, and I couldn't see me staying in the same house anymore.
yeah.
So I bought a house in Lapeer, Marathon, and that's where I am. That's where I am deciding to stay.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to die,
Good.
and I like it here.
Yes.
I love Cortland County.
Yeah.
I thought I was in the country in Monmouth County until I came here. This is country.
Yes.
Do you do gravestones for?
No. No. Gravestone is a very difficult business. I have been approached. The first thing that they say, ain't no limit. No limit
But
to
there is a limit.
month later, it's like, well, how much would it be? 6 months later, it's like, well, thinking about it. It's an emotional thing.
Yeah.
The first week, you are just devastated. Nothing matters. And I know that. But eventually, they come to terms. And it's also a little bit painful. Also did one for the library, Monmouth County Library. No, but everything that I did is like 12 feet wide, 18 feet long. It's heavy, heavy, heavy. And that's my style.
Do you think your grandson will sometime pick it up and how old is he now?
He's 14.
Oh, okay.
It's up to him. At that time, he has no idea how important it is, how much gratification he gets out of it. But he did a piece. It's beautiful. And I might exhibit it somewhere. Do I hope? Of course. But it's entirely up to him.
What are your favorite skulls? What's your favorite thing to sculpt?
Well, my favorite stone is the limestone. My favorite piece is my last one, and the next one. But the eagle is my biggest work, and the most emotional. There is something I need your help with. This is in front of the old high school, the gymnasium, and it's in horrible condition. There are 2 sculptures. They're beautiful sculptures. I want to clean them. I need your help to clean them. Not to clean them, but to get me in contact with the right people. I spoke to the mayor. The mayor is, it's not a Cortland thing. It's a county project. First of all, they have water draining right on the sculptures, and you could see the results. I want to clean them, not as a job, I just as a volunteer. If you know anybody in town that went to that high school, or anybody that can help me, I would welcome it.
We really appreciate you coming here and talking to us about this.
Yeah.
And I am glad that I am here. I'm glad you are here.
Hey!
I'm glad that you came here.
I hope my grandchildren
Yeah.
know that I did something.
Yeah.
I came to this country, I did something.
Right.
I contributed.